Alright, so welcome back to Into the Infinityverse, where I kind of give you a peek behind the curtain of the Infinityverse, the shared fanfiction universe that my friend Jason Voorhees and I work on. Now, keep in mind, I've said this before, is that since it's fanfiction, we don't get paid for it, so there's why people talk about why there's so many delays. Well, Jason has some stuff, and I'm not going to go into it, that have delayed him, and I'm working on actual books, like to publish. And also I'm doing this. So, yeah, we're not for abandoning it. It's just, we have lives outside of something we don't get paid for, but we like doing it because it's a cool project. So yeah. Anyway, but we are working on stuff when we can. We are working on stuff when and where we can. So keep that in mind. Anyway, as I was saying, I know I've talked about this subject a few times, but I always like to come back and read it and, talk about it more and go a little more in depth. And today we're going to be talking about vampires. We're going to be talking about vampires in the Infinityverse and kind of talk about like where certain vampires are and maybe build up to other vampires. Now, when I did a video a while back, I actually want to get this out of the way. Is Abigail canon to the Infinityverse? See, we haven't really decided on that or not. I know a few people have asked if Abigail is canon to the Infinityverse, because we do have the strict rule of what can be canon and what's not. We're still debating on Abigail, but we do have a definitive daughter of Dracula out there. But yeah, let's actually talk about Drac himself, or should I say Alucard. So yeah, Alucard, he is Dracula, obviously, and he is our Dracula. He is our universe's Dracula. And when I say our universe, there is a multiverse out there, so Castlevania Dracula is out there in the multiverse. But yeah, Alucard in our continuity, he's kind of a combination of, in his past, he's kind of a combination of like Lugosi, Oldman, and Christopher Lee Dracula. He's kind of a cool combination of all of them. And he's like, I even want to do I've even told Jason this. I think I have, where like I want to have a moment, like a moment in the stories where like Alucard's watching like a Dracula movie marathon and comments on which of these actors portrayed him best. Like which actor he personally likes the most out of all of them. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. So he is our Dracula, but now he's working for Hell. He was the king of vampires. But now that he's part of Helsing, there is no like specific ruler over the undead. So what that is obviously nature abhors a vacuum. So there is a power vacuum in the underworld of vampires. So you have all these very powerful vampires all kind of vying for control among the undead. Now, there are going to be, I'm not going to say like who among them are trying to, like, these vampire lords, but I will say that in this continuity, while Dracula has sired, while Alucard during his Dracula days has sired various vampires, he never really, it was mostly female. He did have brides, and he did turn Mina into a vampire, and also Lucy. But in here, he never really turned, like, he did have ghouls and whatnot to serve him, but he never really turned personally any men into vampires, except one. There was one man he turned into a vampire. Now, who that is, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's a deep-cut movie character, and it's a character that if you've been on this channel, you know I really enjoy. It's a vampire character that does have connections to Dracula, and I don't want to spoil who it is, but you might figure it out. Anyway, among that, Dracula does have a canon daughter, Alucard. I'm just going to call him Alucard now. Alucard does have a canon daughter, that being Sabella. Sabella, of course, we did incorporate a bit of Scooby-Doo in here, but it's a little muddied. here, the Ghoul School girls are treated as Task Force M. They're a Suicide Squad-esque kind of creature commando kind of team. We thought of Task Force M first, James Gunn. We thought of that name first. But yeah, they're basically a group of monsters who work as a strike team for the Global Justice Network. And essentially what they're kind of like treated as, these are the Black Ops. They're not treated like supernatural, like we only deal with supernatural threats. It's more of, these are meant to be Black Op missions, and we use these monsters for the Black Op threats. And we keep them off the books. And also, they're meant to be, also meant to be, in case of a superhero goes rogue, these guys go and take him out. So yeah, that's the other reason. But Sabella is Alucard's daughter in this continuity, and the two don't get along. The two do not see eye to eye. So we're going to explore that later in the universe. But yeah, they are not on Sabella and Alucard are not on speaking terms. As for other notable vampires in this universe is Valerie Gray from Danny Phantom. Yeah, Valerie is our universe's Blade. And she was originally just hunting ghosts, but as she kept on doing the ghost hunting business, she basically discovered there's more monsters other than ghosts. So she kind of extended herself further into hunting other monsters. This led her to meeting Karl Kolchak, aka Kolchak the Night Stalker. And Kolchak gave her the moniker of Night Stalker. So now that's her moniker, is the Night Stalker. And it's kind of like a Terry and Bruce, Terry McGinnis and Old Man Bruce kind of relationship, where like Karl mentors Valerie because he's like, I'm getting old, and Valerie's young. She's got potential, and she's also got a tech suit that could just wipe you out. So I'll just pass the reins to her and be the old man in the chair. However, Valerie was turned into a vampire in our universe by David Powers from Lost Boys. David is basically, we've set David up as Valerie's arch nemesis, not only because he turned her, but also because he's kind of like the Deacon. He's kind of like her. She's the Blade, and he's Deacon Frost. That's kind of what it is. David is also now working for Millennium, the Nazi group from Helsing, who are also trying to get like their own vampire hordes together. David was resurrected by them and now works as a foot soldier for them. But he and Valerie have a personal grudge against each other. As for other major vampires, I don't want to say who's here, but it's kind of the thing with a lot of vampire movies is that it's kind of easy to stick a lot of vampires in here, give or take. Again, Abigail is, for right now, we're talking about, like, if we want to put her here, because we already have Sabella, but Alucard has been around a long time, so it's easy to see that he could have multiple children. And that's something Universal Monsters Alucard, Lon Chaney Jr.'s Dracula here, or the Dracula's daughter, the other movies, is that character canon. We're kind of talking about those too. But yeah, but as it stands right now, Sabella is the only child right now. That could change if we figure out a right way to put it, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. So vampires are basically, they're all in their little clans and whatnot, and there are bigger vampires out there. Some maybe even older than Alucard out there, who are vying for control. Now, will this build into a certain adaptation of a vampire event that happened recently in Marvel Comics? Maybe. But who knows? Anyway, so, yeah. There you go. There's a bit of vampires, the lore of vampires in the Infinityverse. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. Yeah, just comment below, let me know you guys thought of all this. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.